Hey guys, I am gonna be back. I'm back here to talk about something I've been meaning to talk about for a little while now, and that's Disney's upcoming animated movie Wish. Yes, I'm gonna be talking about the movie Wish and the fact that I feel like we don't know much about it and that it feels like it's coming out. Well, it's going to be coming out actually next month in November is when it's coming out. So, I mean, we know a little bit about the movie, but not a lot. So I want to talk about it and all that. And I'm also going to be talking about some other stuff too. But anywho, guys, if you guys are interested in this kind of stuff, hit that like button and subscribe. I honestly don't really talk about Disney much on it anymore. I'm really just freaking burnt out on this company. I really am burnt out. I really am. I'm just tired of their bogus and all that. And I'm going to be talking about some of that in this video. But I first want to get out of the way of the main thing I want to talk about in this video. And that's Wish. Yes, Wish. Wish is, it's obviously, a movie that's being produced by Disney and all that, and it's supposed to be coming out next month in November. The problem is we hardly know a lot about it. I think we know that there's gonna be a villain in this movie. I think it's gonna have a villain and all that. There's also gonna be a person with stars and all that, and something to wish with wishes. But otherwise, we don't really know much about this movie. And I mean, we can argue that a lot of studios do this stuff, and all that, where they basically don't advertise stuff very well and all that if it doesn't look like it's gonna be good. I mean, Nickelodeon's done this with their shows. Paramount. Paramount has done this in general with their movies, and then we have Universal. That just recently, this year has done that with with their movie, the Ruby Gillman and the Teenage Kraken with the theater release and all that. So studios have done this throughout history and all that. Those are just examples. The thing is, though, at Disney, it feels like they're freaking doing this all the damn time now. They're doing this all the time. They basically announce something's gonna come and all that, but they freaking don't advertise it. They freaking just if it's like something original, they don't freaking advertise it. They just basically, they don't freaking do anything with it. And I understand when, there's a new movie and stuff and all that. They want to make sure, it's good or something before they start, pushing out merchandise and stuff, That's kind of the reason why why Disney's probably losing some money there is because they push out a bunch of freaking merchandise and stuff when the movies do freaking bad. Like Lightyear has done bad, so has, the Little Mermaid movie, it's done bad too. Those movies were just examples, but those movies did bad and they were pushing out merchandise. And people aren't really buying a lot of the merchandise. There's some people buying merchandise, but not a lot. And that's the thing, though. That's something I get, But I feel like, again, when it comes to Disney, I just feel like they're not really, advertising this crap. Like Elemental, they had no faith in the movie at all. They freaking had no faith in it. That movie was just basically set to go to the theaters and die. Is what it was. It was just. I mean, they showed like a couple trailers of it, but they didn't really advertise it much or anything like that. They showed like a couple trailers, and that's it. A couple trailers. I mean, we knew it was coming out, though, because Pixar, talked about it. It showed some early, artwork of it and all that, but it was barely talked about. They talked about it a little bit, and that was about it, and I feel like they kind of just put it in the theaters to die, kind of like, the Ruby Gillman Teenage Kraken movie and all that. I know the movie did earn back a little bit of money, but it still didn't earn back, enough to really, make back the money it lost. But basically to go even. But it did make a lot of its money back and all that. I feel like if it were advertised more, it might have done better, but I don't know. But this is kind of the same problem with Wish here. Wish is the exact same way. Wish is basically a movie that's coming out next month. I don't feel like anyone's really brought this up. I think a lot of people are just burnt out on Disney and their bullshit. People are tired of it. There's some people out there rooting for Disney and all, which I'm gonna get to that probably in a second, but I'm not saying people can't be a fan of Disney, but there's only so much, again, people can take before I feel like some people just don't see, the bad side of Disney, Sure, they have had good animated movies, but they really don't care about their audiences or anything like that anymore. They just care about making money and all that, and that's the problem. That's why they're losing money and all that, but this is one of the movies that looks like it could be decent. It looks like something, like something cool, but they're not advertising it. They're not advertising it very well. They're like, basically it looks like they have a villain in the movie. They do have like a villain, but the thing is though, is again, we don't know much about this movie because Disney is not showing a lot of trailers of it. I think I've seen like a couple trailers. And this movie, was announced. It was announced last year in D23. It was announced then. And you could argue, well, Bob Chapek was still in charge then and all that, and now we have a different CEO. But still, I mean, even once a new CEO coming in and all that, Bob Iger's been back for a long time now since, Bob Chapek got pushed out the door. You would think that, he and the other crew members would try to advertise this crap, because they know they're losing money and stuff and all that. But I don't know, I just feel like, again, it's just like, it just doesn't feel like, I don't think it's gonna probably do very well either in the theaters. I think it's probably gonna do what Elemental did. I think it's gonna because I've seen the trailers of it, I've seen it, and I don't remember much about it, but I do remember it looked interesting. It didn't look great, I'm not gonna lie. It was no Princess and the Frog or The Lion King or something, but it did look, interesting, And I mean, those are just 2D animated movies. There's also the CGI ones, like Meet the Robinsons and stuff, which I have not seen in years, but the trailers there look a lot more interesting. They look a lot more entertaining and goofy, but I don't know. But honestly, I don't know what to say about this movie. It's just like, again, Disney just doesn't seem to really care about this anymore. They don't seem to be caring about original content. That's the thing. They basically go out and buy up a lot of properties and all that. Basically, they just buy out their competition, and they rather, milk that shit to death instead of making new crap and all that, and that's the problem. But again, I'm going to get to that in just a second, but one thing I do want to say before I get to that part, because that's a part of this video, is I kind of wish that this movie was actually hand-drawn animation. I think this would probably definitely get back people who have, who have left, who have, lost interest, because we have not had a full hand-drawn, animated theatrical release movie of Disney in a long, long time. It has been years. I mean, we've had some here and there, like, TV, show movies like The Phineas and Ferb and all that, and then we've also had, there was also, like, the Chip and Dale movie that did use some 2D animation and all that kind of, like, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, and then we also had, we also had, like, a 2D animated, like, film with, like, Night in the Museum and all that, but those are, like, things here and there. I mean, I'm like, this is actually, like, it'd be cool to have a full-fledged, 2D animated movie that's original and all that. That would be cool. The problem is, they're not doing that, though. They're not doing that. I mean, I could say the same thing about any of the studios. None of them are doing this. None of them are. They're all just, like, they've all kind of just gone to CGI because it's cheap and easier to use. It goes faster. It makes the movies a lot faster. The problem is, again, me and, like, many other, people out there want to see, some hand-drawn animation again, and CGI is not bad, but I'm sure, like, again, this film, you know, it looks good, but I feel like, again, if it was, you know, hand-drawn animation, I'm sure that would definitely get more people interested in it. But I don't know, but between, you know, looking like, you know, any other film Disney's produced in the last decade, and even the 2020s, and then we got, you know, the fact that they're not advertising it very well, that's definitely a problem. It feels like it's just fading from existence, it feels like. If it's fading from existence, people are not talking about it much, it's kind of sad. It's sad, you know, but I don't know. But I'm going to go ahead and talk about the thing I want to talk about in this video as well, because this is part of this video. We've also got to talk about the fact that I feel like Disney has no plan when it comes to making some money back because they're in horrible debt. Yes, they're in horrible debt. Their stock is getting bad. Like, it's getting into the 70s. It's popping up into the 80s here and there, but it's starting to get into the 70s, and honestly, that's really bad compared to a couple years ago when they had like 115, you know. Actually, not just a couple years ago. I think, like, the beginning of last year, their, like, stock was still at 115. So they've lost so much stock. They actually regained, like, a lot. They got, like, back in the 90s. I figured their stock was going to go up when Bob Iger came back because people were hoping, you know, Bob Iger would come back and fix the company. You know, that, you know, he didn't fix the company. He's actually freaking running it into the ground just as bad as Bob Chapek was. And he's the one who, you know, fucked it up to begin with. I mean, a lot of people probably knew that, but they were probably hoping maybe he would come back and fix some of this shit, because some of this shit he said he was gonna fix, but he's not doing it, he's not fixing it. And then we got one thing about a couple months ago, it's been a couple months now, that Bob Iger was talking about selling off some of these assets, because you guys know, I've mentioned this in the past, we all know that Disney is being forced to buy Hulu. They're being forced to buy Hulu. And a lot of people, well, not as much people as are happy about this as they were for the company, but there are a lot of people I've read in comments that are still supporting Disney and basically saying that them buying Hulu is a good idea. It's not a good idea. I hate to break it to you, people out there who are actually, you know, wanting Disney to do this. This is not a good idea, because what's gonna happen is they're gonna have to spend $10 billion. They've already lost so much freaking money because their movies have been freaking bombing left and right. This year, last year, this is like the second year in a row they've had freaking movies that have bombed. And you could argue that like, you know, they've had some good movies that have done well. Yes. But most of them this year have not made back the money they were hoping for. Like, Guardians of the Galaxy 3, that movie did not make back the money it was hoping for, and that movie was actually well received. And then, like Elemental, that movie was also well received with mixed reviews, but a lot of people liked it. That movie did not make its money back either. That's the thing, though. A lot of the movies here, and that's been like that last year, and in 2021 was the same way. It was like that too, where their movies were starting to, like, decline again and all that. Like this all kind of started back in, I think, either 2018 or 2019 is when this has started, when our movies started going down the hill. It started going downhill, and they started, like, getting bad, like, reviews and all that. Like, The Lion King, it did well. Like, I heard it made, like, a couple $1 billion in the box office. I heard it was, like, the highest grossing, Disney animated film in the theaters. I still have a hard time believing it because a lot of people had negative thoughts on the trailers. But maybe they were hoping that, like Ugly Sonic, from the Sonic movie, we're gonna fix it, or something. I don't know, but I know, like, it did not have well-received viewers. A lot of people hated it. I mean, I have not seen the movie, but I've seen lots of footage of it because people reviewed it all online, and it looks like dog shit. It looks like fucking dog shit. And that's the problem. That's the problem with a lot of the movies, are dog shit. We have some good ones here and there, but a lot of them are freaking just dog shit. And by 2019, yeah, that's when that movie came out. We had a bunch of those freaking garbage live action remakes. The Dumbo movie, I remember it was all right, but it was not a movie I wanted to see again because I didn't care much about it. For some reason though, I remember a lot about it, but it kind of ruined the whole point of Dumbo because the animals didn't talk in it or anything. But I don't know, but. That's the problem. And then they got, not just that, but they bought up all this shit, and they're running it into the ground. It's been a running trend for a long time. And, when they bought Fox, they overspent on it, and people also are saying that was a good idea, too. It's not, because, they did get stuff out of it at first, but then they started destroying the Fox brand by running it into the freaking ground. They already got a lot of Fox's leftover garbage in the garbage chute. They already got a bunch of that. A lot of the franchises Fox made were already ran to the ground as it is. They already had 5 Home Alone movies, and those were starting to run their core. Family Guy and The Simpsons were at their peak at that point. If they were at that peak, and then a lot of that stuff was. And people have already had some problems with Fox as it is. But when Disney bought it, they basically ran it into the ground. They not only overspent on it and basically destroyed their company because they overspent on it, but by 2020, they got rid of the Fox name, which that was kind of controversial. I've heard different people say different things about it. Some are saying Disney didn't want to get the two brands confused. But others are just Disney just didn't care. I don't know. I could go either way with Disney. I don't know. But then 2021, they freaking gutted Blue Sky and killed it. They freaking killed it and all that. They were announcing they were gonna shut it down and all that. And they've been just running it to the ground. They basically made a lot of shitty sequels to movies that freaking franchises that need to freaking die a long time ago, like Ice Age, Home Alone. Those movies need to freaking die. Then we got another couple movies from the Dire the Wimpy Kid series. They're CGI animated that look horrible, and they look horrible. And I have not seen them. I don't have any desire to see them, but I do know people are saying that they're basically just remakes of the freaking live action ones, just with horrible animation. So basically, yeah, they've overspent on Fox and all that, so that ran into the ground. That's the thing, though. And they basically are wasting their money. They already wasted a bunch of money on it as it is, but they're basically at the point where they basically bought nothing. They bought shit. They just bought nothing but shit, and I know that's kind of a deep word to say, but it's true. They just bought a bunch of garbage, at a garage sale and all that, and they got really nothing out of it. They got some stuff, but they freaking got rid of that stuff that made it good. And honestly, they haven't done anything. I feel with the X-Men or the Fantastic Four, I hear, which is the stuff they acquired to mostly complete their Marvel deals, because now they own almost all the Marvel movie characters. Except for Spider-Man. They don't own all Spider-Man because Sony owns that. But that's the thing, though. So people are still saying that Disney, it's a good thing they bought Fox and all that. I think the problem with these people is I feel like they don't follow a lot of this stuff. That's the thing. A lot of people that told me that this is a good idea, in the past, even when they bought Fox. Well, back then, people weren't really talking about it when it first happened, but I knew it was a bad idea. At that point, I gave up on Disney. I gave up because I knew exactly what they were going to do with Fox. I knew exactly what they were going to do. They were going to run it to the ground and all that, and because they did it with Star Wars, I knew they were going to do it with Fox too. They were going to run it to the ground, and they were going to freaking ruin it. But, because I had problems with Fox before they bought it, but people didn't believe me, but now people are starting to open up and believe me now, so, but, But yeah, that's the thing. I feel like people just don't follow this stuff, and I mean, I don't blame them. Sometimes I feel like it's kind of hard to listen to the news and all that when you got all this other stuff going around the world like COVID and stuff. But I don't know. But I feel like I'm just jabbering on about that. I want to get to the part where the Fox thing comes into place. Because I talked about how Disney overspent on Fox because of Bob Iger. Well, Bob Iger's decision was to sell off, the properties. Yes. Sorry, my throat's hurting from talking a lot from these videos, but so if I'm coughing a little bit, sorry about that. But I was gonna say, yeah, Bob Iger was talking about a couple months ago how he was talking about selling off some of Fox's, not Fox, channel assets and stuff. He was gonna sell it off because Disney needs the money, like I said, to pay for Hulu, because now they're gonna be buying Hulu, and I basically wanted to say that that Hulu was part of the Fox deal too, and they're probably gonna gut that too. They're probably gonna merge it with Disney Plus, and it's probably gonna be gutted too. So yeah, another thing that Disney acquired when they bought Fox that they just gutted and wasted their money on. So yeah, but basically though, they said that they're talking about selling off assets like ABC Family and FX and all that. The thing is though, is I have a feeling they were just talking about parts of it. So they basically were gonna give people garbage. It sounds like I think they weren't gonna sell off the whole channels and stuff. They should sell off I think ABC Family, I mentioned in the past, they should keep that, but I think with FX and all that, they should just sell that off, because a lot of those shows are outdated and stuff. They don't really need it. They'd be better off just selling the whole company. I've been saying that Disney needs to sell this Fox in general and get back their money, well, part of it, because they've already gutted it, so it's probably not worth as much as what it was originally being charged for, and they overspent on it because Comcast was on a bidding war with them, so yeah. But the thing is though, is they were announcing they were gonna sell some of this stuff off. The thing is though, just like Wish, it's basically it's gone silent. It's gone silent. If you look it up on on the internet and stuff, like on Google and stuff, because I use Google to look things up. Basically, it's gone silent. There hasn't been any news on it. So I'm like, what happened? Are they gonna sell anything off, or are they just gonna keep pushing this stuff and keep losing money? I don't know, but this could be a big problem if the investors and all that, they're probably gonna be looking at this and being Disney doesn't seem to have a plan and all that, and that could lead to some problems down the road. But I don't know. But the fact that that they were announcing doing that, well, not they, Bob Iger. Bob Iger is the one who's in charge of all this. I mean, he's not in charge of everything. Each person is there's separate people for each studio they acquired. But Bob Iger is the big guy who spends shit. Spends money on shit that they don't need, and then and all that, makes stupid decisions and all, with firing people and all that. So yeah, but yeah, basically though, basically they just went silent. Bob Iger announced it a couple months ago, and we haven't heard anything about it since. It's just silent. It's been silent. They've been talking about it, and then it's been silent. So I'm not sure what happened. I mean, I guess it may take time to find people to sell it to, but I would think people would probably be looking for people would be offering to buy it at this point, because that was 2 months ago when they started announcing that. But that's not the only thing that's been silent. The Hulu purchase thing has been silent too. Because if you guys don't know, Comcast decided to push the Hulu purchase thing. They decided to move that up to the end of September. and it's now October. We haven't heard anything about it. Like, people are wondering how much Disney's gonna pay for it, and now it's October, and we still don't know how much they're paying for Hulu. So I don't know. But I knew that they were originally going to be paying like $9 to $10 billion for it, but Comcast was wanting more for it and all that, and they were announcing it like, at the end they were pushing it to September, probably because number one, Disney they probably know Disney doesn't have a plan for it and all that. They want to run Disney out of money, and at number two, they're probably tired of waiting for Disney and all that to make money. I don't know, but like I said, they're just being there. But that's the thing. That's been silent too. Like they basically pushed that, forward. I mean, pushed that back a bit, so that Disney's. I mean, would it be forward or back? I don't know how you would say it, but we'll just say it. They pushed it back because technically they went backwards. They're usually when people say push back, they usually mean they push it. They usually push it forward. I don't know why people say it like that, but they do. But I'm just gonna say they push it back because they technically did. They push it to instead of January, they're now discussing it, and all that, in September. But again, it's gone silent. It's all going silent and all that, and it's like Disney's using their little magic spells or something, and basically just magically wished it all away. Of course, Disney doesn't have a lot of money to do that stuff anymore, but something definitely is going on behind the scenes. I can definitely see something's going on, but yeah, I can see something's going on behind there, and I have a feeling that, like I said, this is not going to end good. This is not. As much as I want Disney to be saved, I really do. I want Disney to be good again because I miss watching Disney films and enjoying their movies and all that. But I don't know. But I don't know what to say there. It's just like I said, this is the current way Disney is right now. And while other studios are learning from their mistakes, Disney seems to keep making these mistakes. So I don't know. But this is kind of strange and all that. How Wish has basically been silent, and they've been letting all their films die and all that, despite all the new ones die despite them needing money because they're losing a crap ton of money. Basically, and then we got the fact that Bob Iger was announcing he was planning on maybe selling off some assets. That's been silent. Everything seems to be going silent. I definitely think something is going on at Disney. Yeah, I mean, there's always shit going on at Disney. I mean, to be honest, that's why there's a lot of people have left Disney and all that, because there's always stuff going on. But here very recently, yeah, there's definitely something going on because it's been, like I said, it's been silent and all that. But I don't know. I mean, we've even got the whole DeSantis thing, that's gone silent too. I mean, people stopped talking about that probably because people are burned out talking about it. But the fact that there was a lawsuit and all that Disney was planning on that, but that's gone silent. Basically, there's no one said if Disney won or DeSantis won. It just went silent. It's gone silent. I mean, there's been a lot of lawsuits that have gone silent before with Disney, but I don't know. This is basically the this is basically like I said, this is the thing Disney does. They use they use their magic and they basically wish it all away. But I don't know. I don't think they're gonna be able to keep doing this. I definitely think something bad's gonna happen. I definitely think there's something definitely going on in the scene, something very desperate that's going on behind the scenes and all that might lead to some problems. But I don't know. But Honestly, I kind of wish that freaking Disney would just kick out Bob Iger, to just kick him out. They kicked out Michael Eisner, they kicked out freaking Bob Iger. Why not kick out freaking Bob Iger? Bob Iger's not doing shit to change the company either, so I don't know, but I don't know. But like I said, all this stuff's just it's slowly, building up over time, and that's the thing though, like. That's why back then people were telling me Disney's fine, Disney's not going anywhere and all that. Well, I was like they keep making mistakes like this, people it's eventually gonna catch up to them and people are gonna leave. If Disney has no audience, they can't make money. That's exactly what's happening. People are leaving Disney because people are just fed up with them. They're tired of them making bad movies. And when they don't advertise stuff like this is not helping, because these movies actually look like they could be good, but Disney doesn't want to advertise them. And yeah, other studios do this too. Like I said at the beginning of the video, Nickelodeon's done this with some of their shows, like My Life as a Teenage Robot, and Universal's done this with the Ruby Goldman Teenage Kraken. But those are like just a few examples. Disney's doing this all the time. They're doing this all the freaking time, but. I don't know, but I'm gonna go ahead and probably let this go because my throat's hurting, and I'm gonna probably eat some breakfast because I'm hungry, so, yeah, but yeah, before I go, I want to tell you guys, I don't want people to think that I want Disney to die. I mean, I kind of do, kind of don't, because I feel like they're not gonna change, but at the same time, I really want them to get better. I want them to be good again, but I lost all faith in them at this point. I have. So, I don't want people to think I've always hated Disney, because I'm not. I used to love Disney. I used to love them when I was little. I wanted to go to their parks and stuff, but now I just don't care about them anymore. I'm like other people. I've gotten to the point where I've just gave up on them. I gave up on them when they bought Fox because I knew what direction the company was going, because Fox is a big asset, and I knew they were gonna, that's when they gained too much power, so, I don't know, but, if you guys still like Disney, I guess you guys can like Disney, but, for me, I'm just tired of them, but, I don't know, I'm gonna say, before I do let this go, I do want to mention this too. I did have some other videos for Disney in the past, but I didn't post them because I feel like I'm just repeating the same thing at this point. That's the problem with that's why I don't cover them much, because I feel like I'm just repeating myself, but I wanted to bring this stuff up because Wish is definitely a very popular, it seems like, it looks like it could be a very good movie, but like I said, they're not advertising it, so, I don't know. But I'm gonna go ahead and let things go from here. I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.